Oh, okay.
Oh,
Well, you guys help figure out how to get these videos working well.
Actually,
I'll take it care. I don't know. You're gonna need Cool Maddie's
Let
trunk
me,
is just big enough for all my stuff and nothing else. Like, there's nothing in his trunk. He's got a pretty big trunk, so.
Okay. So this is a really fun game, in my opinion. It doesn't need to be quite that loud. Although I do need to be able to hear my gather ability. Is everything set up? Okay. So, 3, 2, 1, go. So, the basic premise of this game is that there's this magic book about water called Aquaticus, who gets taken over by an inky substance called the Influence, or Goop. Oh, that was early. Oh well. But, so the Goop traps his power into these rainbow drops, and you're not actually controlling anything, you're just a player that's tilting the book left and right and letting gravity do its work with this water. And there's a lot of sections in this tutorial where it's very picky about how much water you have in the next area before it'll start scrolling text. So occasionally I'll just pool all of my water into one spot just to be certain, but later on it will be all bets off for where my water goes. This game is on WiiWare. It's downloaded from the Nintendo shop or whatever. And it was on Club Nintendo for 100 coins a while back, I believe. And it's one of the few games, I believe, that uses motion controls really well. There's a slight couple tricks coming up. I can do this in one shot, usually. That was a little too early. This is one of those picky areas where it requires you to have a lot of your water, and if you have even a little bit left behind, it may not continue the text. That might have been too much, but right there I'm just trying to skip the text telling you about jumping, and here, if I get this early enough, it skips the text about cogs, and pretty much there's a lot of missions in the game where you just take X to Y to complete it, and cogs are an example of that. This game has a few, like 4 chapters into it, but they're each their own world with a couple of pages to them that I can just travel at my own leisure. They're not like individual levels. That wasn't enough. Oh, that wasn't enough either. Ugh. On this one, I just normally need to get enough water over here to open this last door. And I'm going to go into the settings here and turn on steep angles, which of course make the angles steeper for turning left and right, which I think allows water to flow faster. And also I think lets me attack several enemies in one cycle, like this guy down here. And that was a rainbow flower that I just hit. There's a certain amount on each page, and if you hit them all, then you get a free rainbow drop, which I'll be doing a lot of. Oh, guy's such a troll. There's also a lot of extra content, such as jigsaw puzzles in this game, which I won't be focusing on collecting any of. And any I do get are purely accidental. And again here, all I need is enough to open up this door at the top. And there, if you have a rainbow drop that spawns during a cutscene, if water is touching it during the cutscene, it will automatically collect it and skip the animation for it. Which I'm not given too many chances to do that in this run. But it also works that when you get a rainbow drop that's kind of off screen, it will also skip the animation. And I'm going to especially avoid this particular jigsaw, because that one has text associated with it. Don't you dare. Fuck. There, I got it again. And these first 4 rainbow drops are always the same, because they're the only ones that I'm allowed to get. But after I get this next one, I get my first ability in the game called Gather, which is really useful. So right here, I'm going to take some damage intentionally. Because I want to have a small amount of water for this next part. Like earlier where the game only wanted to continue when I had a certain amount of my water in an area. This game also counts the percentage of the total pull that you have. So in this bucket here, I just need to get a certain amount of the water I have on screen into that bucket for it to drop. And if I had more water than that, then it would take maybe 2 or 3 cycles of me trying to put water into it. So Gather is pretty much one of the most broken abilities in this game. Because the idea of it is that all of your water, when you use it, will gather to the spot that you have the most water. So wherever your biggest pool is, that's where all of your water wants to travel to. And in addition, I can also explode and get my water some extra distance. And I can do this in the air or anytime that I'm not inside a pipe. And I can also mash the 1 button and I can delay my charge so that I can keep all of my water in one spot and still not explode randomly. And if I'm really quick here in the beginning of this area, then I can usually get a quick kill on all 4 of these guys. And now the game starts to open up a bit more.
Is it kind of like Mario 64 where you have to get like X number to beat the game, but there's also a bunch of extra ones you can find too?
Yes. Pretty much I just aim to get the quickest ones that I can find and do them in an order that makes them faster depending on what abilities I get when. I need 55 rainbow drops and access to Chapter 4 in order to face the final area in this game. Which, in this game, there's not exactly bosses, there's just areas with a lot of enemies that I'm supposed to kill. I tried to do a wall jump there. I failed miserably. Pretty much the game considers anything that's close to being flat or a hill as floor. So when I jump onto a wall, when I'm slanted or tilting the screen, it will register some walls as floors and it will give me a second jump. Which on some occasions it lets me get to places where I'm not either not supposed to get to or would take an extraordinary amount of time in comparison to get to. And there's a lot of puzzles in this game, and there's a lot of intended solutions, and there's quite a few unintended solutions that I managed to figure out. Again, I'm going to hit this rainbow drop here, or this rainbow flower, because I'm here, and it'll say it's basically a free rainbow drop once I hit all the others. Aww. The gear moved to the worst possible spot. Occasionally I can leave some water in the top section and have the gear come to me when I come back up, but sometimes it goes awry. So these books that appear, they're basically warp points from page to page, and sometimes within the same page, that make it really handy for A, getting from one place to another, and B, for tricking some of the puzzles. In addition to tilting left and right, I've already seen that you just shake the Wiimote up and down to jump, basically. But in an interview that Curve Studios used to, or made, they made mention that the jump mechanic was actually the hardest to program. Because of how the Wiimote gyros work.
Did they explain why, or is that all, or is that part of their NDA? They can't talk about exactly how the gyros work?
They didn't go into like super details. It's just that I guess going an up-down motion versus a flailing motion is probably what the issue is. That just so that a specific action causes you to jump rather than just accidentally moving the Wiimote. Which is also why I play with a normal Wiimote rather than a Wii Motion Plus, because it's so sensitive. That on occasion, it would, when I tried practicing with it, it would just do inputs that I didn't even realize I was making out of the slightest movements one way or another. I can just wait and ride this up. Usually what I do after I hit that last platform is just jump over to this last one. And that only costs a few seconds or so. So I've got 9 rainbow drops now, which unlocks the first Heart of Influence area, but I'm not going to go there yet, because it's just easier right now for me to collect a couple more before I head on to Chapter 2. Because all that Chapter 2 has to offer me right now is the ice ability, which I don't really particularly need or can use to my knowledge. with these goops, they are vulnerable during their animations of both turning their flames on and off. But once the animation is done, they are invincible and they will hurt me. Which, in the first Heart of Influence area, you might see me do a couple of times where it seems like they should be damaging me, but they are still vulnerable. Too early. Camera's probably going to be doing wonky stuff with that now. I'm going to try and get my water back up here. Or at least waste some time so that it evaporates. If I separate my pools of water into two large enough chunks, the camera likes to try and pick both of them up, which will cause it to just stay in the middle between the two. Fast enough. Oh, nope. Oh well. Oh, there we go. If I had done that fast enough, I would have been able to just jump back while the bridge was receding. So now I have 11, and I'm going to actually go do the Heart of Influence room. Which is basically just a big puzzle in itself. This first one's not so bad, but the second, third, and fourth chapters have enemies that have to be done in certain orders after you hit certain switches and do certain things to open up doors and whatnot. No, I'm good.
You know when you're getting around the pizza?
No idea. He's got a
We'll probably get this little pizza.
You want anything? Just write it down. It's on the board.
Oh.
You should have something.
I already had 2 calzones.
Your sandwich is
That's a good point. Did you guys say you were good on food?
Yeah, I'm good. Oh.
awesome.
Yeah, I think it's pretty sweet.
The etching is great too.
One of the prize lists you're looking at?
Yeah, that's late.
Oh.
You got a good look at that gun blade? If not, you should get a good look.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Troll fireball? Nope. Oh, yeah. Pause here because the camera has to pan down, and occasionally if I try and take that too fast, he will still be invincible for a really long time, and I'll have almost no chance of avoiding him. There we go. I said, they're vulnerable during their animations.
But not once they're actually fully...
Yeah, they have to actually complete their animation, and they're even vulnerable maybe a frame or two afterwards. So Chapter 2 is probably like the sluggish, or most sluggish of the chapters. Aside from Chapter 4, which I hardly touch, just because the puzzles by that time are so long, they're just not worth doing in a speedrun. Oh. Yes. Pretty much anywhere where it has those, those little pits. I can transform into ice now, such as the one that I was spawned at in this chapter. But before I finish Chapter 13, I now have the ice ability. I'm going to take a little detour. Chapter 1, Rainbow Drops. Oh, took that a little slow, so I'm gonna wait till it's not invincible. So this is where you get introduced to lava, which, in this case, the bright lava instantly kills me once I touch it, so I'm going to take this area a little safe. Whereas the darker lava just damages me. You'll see in my life counter in the top left that the main vial has a couple of markings on it, and every time I get hit by lava, it will mark me down one of those.
Yeah.
And my ice will actually get smaller as well, which I abuse a little later on.
That's what the bad translator comes up with.
Yes, I get that.
All kinds of liquids.
And all kinds of liquids.
That's intense. It's intense. I didn't know there was a bad translator. Where did you? Was it like open in Firefox or something?
That's on Dave's computer.
Yeah.
It's just a website.
I guess you can Google sites like that. What, it basically feeds it through Google Translate until it settles down, or what?
This one just does like passes.
So there are lots of secret areas in the game, such as this. Oh no. Okay.
I never heard of it.
No. You don't have
He said, yeah, decided what I wanted to test it next. Probably, other than advanced product.
Just remember, we would what?
Well,
Yep.
I'm gonna buy a new console.
I'm playing this on a regular Wii.
Well, yeah, at that point, just as well.
Yeah, but a Wii isn't a new console, it's an old console, so it would be like $40-$50.
Yeah. I haven't actually dabbled with the Wii U, so I'm not sure if it plays a old WiiWare on it or not.
I'm disappointed that there's no way.
That, what?
So I apologize for this, but I call this one a slam dunk.
Just like with piracy, right? Every time somebody steals a can, it was $60.
That's exactly how it works. It's bad.
Are they seriously doing that, or are they just doing it?
As far as I've heard, that's something they're seriously doing.
Oh, God.
Oh. One more try. Got it.
And I thought someone was going to get on Jupiter.
So I'm going to be going to the left here once I get to the bottom, because during cutscenes where they point out enemies, they still are allowed to go through their cycles. And on this particular one, it's a furnace, and if I go to it right now, it will not be burning by the time I get over there. If I were to do it after this one, though, then I would have to wait for it. And there's a pretty hard jump here that got semi-consistent sometimes. Got it. That pretty much just skips the 2 platforms to the side and saves 30 seconds or so. And I don't need to activate that other platform that was over there, since I can make that longer jump without it, which saves another 30 or so seconds from the cutscene that would play. And normally I'd have to go underneath this level, get an orange cog, and go up through some levels, but I just explode and hit the rainbow drop. Because as long as any of my water hits the rainbow drop, it completes the level.
I hate to leave you in the middle of your run, but I'm getting really tired.
Yeah, that
Say and watch off up with home.
yeah, that couch seems to have an effect on people like that. Good night, Blue Glass. There was a nice wall jump. Didn't really save anything since I still had to wait for this platform. So there aren't just take item to other place puzzles in this game. There's also a couple escort missions and also a couple where it's just get through the puzzle to the end type. And there's a lot of actual variety and creativity in some of these puzzles. unfortunately, I try to break through as many of them as I can. And there's no real sequence breaking, unfortunately, yet, because I apologize for this one too, but there's really solid programming in this game. With water physics, I think you have to be well aware of like where your walls are and how solid objects are. And as of yet, I haven't found anything to break through any walls in particular. Oh. So yeah, this crusher doesn't do anything to water or cloud forms, which I get later. And right now I'm just skipping turning into ice to get this cog up here by just balancing on the platform. Because when you have an item and you freeze it, you can take it anywhere and you won't lose it, but you have to melt at some point in order to put it where it belongs. So now I get the third ability in this game, which is Stick. It allows me in ice form to stick to objects. And it's really handy for some areas, but I don't find too much use in it other than where it's required. I'm not going to make it up there. If I had made it up to the top before this platform pushed me down, these walls would have closed and I could have skipped a couple of things. And at some point I might forget my route. But luckily I have it on my phone. And can look it up. I've done a lot of recent updates to my route, switching things around, so I haven't completely memorized it yet. And this is one of the changes I made. I used to do this one earlier without stick, which was a pain, but now I can pretty much go the fastest path possible through this maze.
Does stick only work when you're in ice?
Yes. Because, I guess, like, if you were to try and lick a flagpole and below 32 degrees Fahrenheit or something, your tongue would stick to it, kind of like that. And aside from the ones that particularly require it, I don't use stick that much. Because although it's useful, by the time I get Cloud, it's not going to matter.
Oh jeez, I haven't seen you since you shaved your head. I thought you were someone else.
Yeah, that's a lot of people's reaction.
Okay, I believe I go this way now.
It's a beautiful crazy boat.
Oh god.
Okay.
So I'm gonna hit this book. I don't really use it, except for one instance, because there's a trick coming up a little later where the game saves pretty much automatically whenever you do anything of importance, such as hit a rainbow flower. So on occasion you can just hit a rainbow flower. Oh, I messed that up. You can just hit a rainbow flower, it saves automatically, so you can exit the level and everything will be hunky-dory. And you can go on to the next one. Oh, come on. There's a nice little skip here. If I can get it. Yep. Where I don't have to go through the intended way. I can just hop right onto that platform and get myself up. I believe right about now is where I head towards the left page. And occasionally I have to pop up some inclines because of gravity. Oh. Mess that up. Occasionally I can get onto the far side of the platform to gain distance since I have to wait for it anyways. So I'll just take it safe here and get right on it. Oh, come on. There we go. That platform doesn't activate until I'm completely on it, which is annoying. So I'm going to do this bottom one first, because if I go towards the left and the top one first, sometimes it doesn't like to start the gears that move around, and it makes it a little difficult to actually get through. Although I found a quicker path that I might take that just goes underneath and takes a lot of damage. Okay. Alright, that wasn't too bad. And another thing about those breakable walls I'm going through, they're not all cooperative. It takes a certain amount of speed and force to actually make it break. So if I don't come at it from a certain distance or speed, it will sometimes not break, and that can be annoying because there are a couple breakable walls later on that I have to rely on something else breaking instead of my block of ice. And that can troll me sometimes. I'll take it. 24. Yeah, I am right on track. And this is the first droplet puzzle that I do. And this is probably the easiest one there is. Which just has 7 droplets scattered around the level. And once I collect all of them, then the rainbow drop appears. And unfortunately, these first 2, I have to... Oh, did drop too early. I have to wait for platforms. So here, I don't need to jump up and over like I did before, since I have stick and I can just go up the other way. There we go. Earlier, I somehow could not break that top wall, even though I clearly have enough speed and power to do so. I'm going to do the second part of Influence now, and this one starts to really pound in the puzzle aspect. Whereas before it was just a bunch of enemies that I could beat in any order that I wished. This one has a bunch of gears that will only spin in certain directions. Oh, too early. Oh. Oh, I activated the cutscene. I kind of did that for health safety reasons. Oh no. Since the Heart of Influence levels look really weird in that they give you a checkpoint every time that you kill a noob. So, occasionally, if you die after killing certain groups, it will put you in good positions, and occasionally it will put you in, or respawn you in very awkward positions. And I abuse that in the later ones, but right now, I'm not too confident in where it will put me after each phase. That goop back can also be a bit trolly depending on where he is in his cycle when I get around to him. What is my time at currently?
50-30.
It's not bad.
So just now, the PayPal stories or the chip in? PayPal. When was the last time you ever checked chip in instead of curiosity? I'm kind of curious if there's any that will randomly pop up.
Yeah, no, I got a computer
I'm ready for PayPal. Lovely and interesting.
Big things are happening. So at least you know it wasn't just us.
So here I skip a bunch of text about the cloud and its abilities and raining by just turning into water before it wants me to. And the trigger for starting this next section is just hitting that rainbow flower. And I also, in addition to getting cloud, I also have the gust ability where I can suck up balloons, which can attach to objects.
But does the cloud just float up uncontrollably or like...
I turned the Wiimote, I inverted the controls so that I turn it this way to go up and this way to go down.
Oh, okay.
And left and right work normally as well.
Okay.
But that's one half of the broken speed combo. Because in a few more drops, I'm going to get the gust ability, which I can actually blow wind. And if I blow wind in the opposite direction that my cloud is going, I get a pretty decent speed boost. And it requires quite a bit of coordination to be able to think, okay, I'm going right, so I need to press left.
Yeah, that's...
Don't troll me, fireballs. Oh, he's coming for me. Oh, he missed me. They have a cycle. It's just, oh no. It's just depending on when I get to it. So I'm exiting here because that rainbow drop actually spawned back towards the warp. So because I earlier took a few moments to get the rainbow drop in that ice maze, that rainbow drop was just hop, skip, and jump away.
Okay.
I believe now I go back to chapter 3. Yep. For a long, long time.
So how many drops are there total? You said you get 55?
I need 55 to open up the Heart of Influence in chapter 4, and there's 89 total in the game.
Okay. Odd number there.
It is an odd number, and I don't know why it's not 90.
89 is good enough. Ship it.
I think it mostly has to do with the size of the puzzles that they wanted. Because in Chapter 4, a lot of the puzzles are ridiculously large and complicated. So it's probably more so that they wanted to stick in that high difficulty curve. And 89 was just the number they ended up with, and we're happy with. In fact, that there's so much you can do in this game that you can get that much for a $10 game, basically.
Yeah,
that's a lot of content. So, when routing Chapter 3, the basic idea I was going for was that since I'm going to get a gust ability, which makes me go super fast with the cloud later on, I try to do all the short burst of cloud rainbow drops first. Oh, that pink gear was just out of reach. So now I'm going to have to sit here a moment and wait for that cog to get where it's supposed to go. Which opens up this tiny area under here. So I believe this next one is a pretty odd fish puzzle. It also shows off how complicated some of these puzzles can be, just trying to figure it out normally, versus how if you take out all the unnecessary steps, how simple some of these solutions can be. So I'm hitting this warp here because I'm just going to use it again to hit a couple more rainbow flowers and then warp back and do the same thing with the autosave later on, because there's nothing over here that's worth the time required to solve it. And this switch here is one of the more interesting things, is that you have to get enough water in there to connect a current, which is also one of the buggier switches, I think, because it can alternate between raising and lowering that platform. And also, in these missions, if the object you're carrying lands in lava, you automatically lose a life. So I have to be wary of that big gear-looking thing in the center that's moving up and down, because it is solid and it can obstruct my water, and it can knock a goldfish into the lava. And I will have fried fish for dinner.
I have to admit, I'm a little surprised those fish can survive that long.
Oh, that was close. Fish are actually one of the more interesting things. They're pretty much exactly like the rubber duckies, where you have to get them from point A to point B. Only if you leave a fish by itself after collecting it, it will get a timer on it for being a fish out of water. And if that timer runs out, then the fish dies. And that's another interesting aspect about the game. So, Fluidity also came out with a sequel recently for 3DS download called Fluidity Spin Cycle, which is actually a really interesting game, because instead of this free world nonsense that they have here, they switch to an individual level format with actual bosses at the end of each chapter. But in addition, it makes use of a 360-degree turn radius. So you can actually flip the level completely upside down. And I'm not sure whether it uses the camera or the pedometer gyros in the 3DS to do so. But I still think it's quite amazing that they took the motion concept from this WiiWare title and managed to put it into a completely handheld system. And that they could also flip the entire level 360 degrees, upside down, left, right. So now I have the gust ability, and this is going to completely break the speed barrier for this game. Allowing me to do things really quickly, and like this maze coming up, or it's not quite a maze, but there's a lot of places that can damage me. It takes a bit of getting used to be able to move quickly and efficiently. I pause there for a second to make sure that that cog gets where it's supposed to, because if it falls off of that platform, then I'm pretty much screwed. I have to do that over again. Because until I get the squirt ability, I am unable to lift objects up without a balloon. And I have a few more drops to go before I unlock the Heart of Influence here. But unlike the other two levels, I'm going to instantly go for it, because that will give me the last ability in this game, Squirt. Which makes a lot of the earlier levels particularly easier. Whereas they were made with the idea that you were just going to be water by that point. Using Squirt in them pretty much takes out most of the puzzle aspects. And just goes straight towards the ending. Well, when you're a cloud, that's the only way you can fight back. So here, I have a creative solution where normally you'd have to spend maybe about 10 or so turns turning these things. I skip about half of them by just doing some creative stuff with this rubber ducky. So now I kind of have to fiddle around, and there. I got it relatively quickly.
Nice. Off screen.
Yeah. As I mentioned before, when you get a rainbow drop off screen, it saves time because it doesn't do its full animation. particularly fond of this puzzle, just because there's that one pin on the left that's moving side to side, and it always seems to pop the balloon I pick up from up here. And I usually have to wait a cycle or two, depending on when I come in here. Oh. Yeah.
I guess they just respawns and pops.
Yeah, as soon as that balloon hits that pin, the balloon pops, and I have to go collect another one. The balloons infinitely respawn, so it's all good. But this does put me in an awkward position, trying to get underneath this guy without popping it. Alright. And I could change it into water right here, but that wouldn't be faster because I still have to wait for my cloud to completely rain out all of my water supply before I gain control of it. Alright, and now I'm going to do my favoritist rainbow drop, just because of how creatively simple this solution is when you think about it. So normally, you drop down into this area down here, and you automatically touch that mesh. Well, nope. So there I just skipped about 2 steps of going back and forth and transforming. But not only that, but it is actually quite difficult without Squirt to get this fish out of this pit. So now I just slide right in. And now this is probably the second most difficult stage in the game for a speedrun. Not only are there a lot of flying enemies, but there's also a lot of goofy mist. Which can be trolly and slow you down at the same time. I'm gonna try to abuse damage here in a moment, so it's okay that I got hit there. There's a balloon down here that ordinarily I'd have to come through the other side and blow around, but but because I get smaller as I lose health, I can just slip right in here, get this balloon. Oh, come on. Come here. There we go.
I may have missed this before. Is the color of the cog significant at all? Or is it
Yes, you see that the purple arrow and the purple outline?
right? So only purple cogs.
Yeah.
Is there ever a situation where
Yes. There are a few. There we go. So I'm going to avoid that health right now so I can do this again with the balloon. first thing I'm gonna do is kill this guy, because I'm at such low health and he can snipe me. So you see this moving platform has a pin on it, but I don't actually have to pop this balloon. I just have to let go of it so that the weight hits that switch. Oh. Where's the weight? Okay, it's still down there.
Alright, you're live again.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so sorry about that. Appears the blue screen of death has struck again. So, I'm about to get the most broken power-up in the game. I don't quite understand all of its uses just yet. Such as hovering in the air and whatnot. But Squirt does provide a lot of breaking in these puzzles. So, earlier when I mentioned that Gather likes to pull all of your water up to where your biggest source of water is, when you're squirting your water up into the air, that's your biggest source of water. So, it will pull the rest of your water up from the ground, and then if you charge just right, you can also then squirt from the air again, causing you to get multiple jumps in, basically. And of course, squirt is how you move items as water up into the air, as opposed to gather and as its explosion. You can get a little bit of air with just gather, but not enough to significantly break anything or do anything unintended. So now I'm gonna do the only other rainbow drop, and I do in Chapter 4, just because it's so short, as my little robot friend. It's my little robot friend. This is the last element of puzzles that they introduce into this game, which are robots, which are quite entertaining. mechanically wise. The idea is to, again, get them from point A to point B, which is their charging station. But I can also make them jump with a bolt of lightning. And there I hit him once just so I can turn him around sooner, as opposed to having him hit the wall. But I don't mess with robots anymore, because all of those puzzles are extremely long. I believe I head back here. Yep. Oh, this one here. This one gave me a lot of trouble trying to figure out how to properly do this. What I'm going to do is use Squirt to pretty much skip most of this drop, but it used to be that the timing was so precise that it wasn't that reliable. So what I'm going to do here is a strategy I figured out that's more consistent. But just takes a few moments longer to pull off versus my ideal pattern before. There we go. Pretty much that skipped a whole lot of nonsense. Getting the cog to travel up several platforms and an elevator and take it across those few platforms. So I didn't look at it, but I believe this is the one that I'm in. Oh, missed it. Send a little bit of water down into there to get that droplet. And there's a slight trick you could do here to just pretty much hover over... Oh, come on. Hover over all of those pillars, but it's kind of random based on how much water you have where. I did that a little out of order, but it doesn't matter. Pretty much you can change the order you do some of these rainbow drops in, as long as you don't mess up when you get certain abilities. Such as, I need to have stick at 18 drops, so in between getting ice at in between 9 and 18, there's pretty much a lot of variance I can do. So this one is just called Hold Right, and it brings that cog up to me as long as I just hit that one switch. Versus the other hold lefts and hold R's. 43. So, do we have an idea of where the time cut out before?
Yeah, it was like 1 hour.
Okay. And what am I at now?
118.
Okay, so I'm not doing that. took a moment to get rid of all the goop mist around this Heart of Influence door, and this is why, because... Oh no. Because that jump is a bit difficult to make, to land on the proper platform I need to, without overshooting it. And the goop mist just makes it that much more difficult to jump around. Oh, really? That was a good shot. Oh my god. Really? There we go. So yeah, this is a really fun game though, to pick up both casually and trying to speedrun. It is 44. Okay. I'd like to give shoutouts to Doisum and Purple Sun Daryl, who also run Fluidity. Doisum was a big inspiration when I was starting to run this game in helping me route it. And also great competition on Speedruns Live. And Purple Sun Daryl is also trying to get into this Fluidity scene, and he is also making great progress as well. Both of them are really good motivation for me to try and finish getting a good SDA quality video of this game. Provided I don't mess up, it's going to be a little sooner than that, maybe like 30 at the most. The gust control fireball. Gotta watch out for it. Occasionally I can get this to work so that the orange or whatever it is moving while I'm transforming, but it's iffy. So just have the last rainbow flowers, that's right. Oh, where are you going, Walter? This is another example of just circumventing everything that the developers wanted you to do. Normally you'd have to go up and go through all those pipes just to get to that rainbow drop, or that rainbow flower. quite enough. Oh, I need to charge this properly. So another thing is that if you hold gather and charge it up, your squirt goes higher.
The idea was that you would see the note first because this is where it was.
Okay, I am getting very close now. There's just a few simple ones now.
I kidnapped it. Pretty sure Mrs. M got it later. You want to sign it free?
Let's see if I can do this quickly. Oh, got. There we go. First try. This one coming up is one of my more hated ones because this cog does not like to cooperate. It may take a few tries to get it to do what I want. Oh, that's right. Just as an extra precaution, I'm going to use Cloud to traverse the windmill this time. It takes about the same amount of time to go up as water versus changing into a cloud and doing this. But the upside is that cloud I don't fall. So. Alright. Usually that cog likes to roll back uphill once it hits that top section, so it takes a couple tries sometimes. Nice. 49. So again, I'm going to skip this puzzle. And this is one of the more complicated rainbow droplet puzzles. Just because they're so far spread out and there's so many steps to each one. So I'm going to wait here for just a moment to make sure that that blue cog makes it all the way across the sand. and down this hill, because otherwise it makes it a bit difficult to catch it in time before my water either starts to fall through that grate or starts to die in the sand. And I believe the next one is the squirt door. Yes. There we go. I don't need to open that door all the way, just far enough to get underneath it, because it's going to close anyways. Oh. Okay. So there's one that spawned. There's the tower. Just a few quick ones left now. Oh, really? Okay. So I just have to move away, and then it'll let me warp again. Alright, I'm in the clear now. Come here. I don't need my route anymore, because the last few are really simple. Sweet. So this is the last one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Very much was.
I'm surprised you guys didn't try any type of routing setups where you had like a weird setup for certain stages.
Alright.
That would imply that we have
Here's my last break of this game, where it shows everything opening up in reverse order. What's my time looking like?
About 1:35. I'm not sure exactly what the timer was at before the blue screen.
Yeah.
So.
blue screen on which end?
What do you mean?
This blue screen, not the Wii.
No.
That's funny.
I've never seen a Wii blue screen.
Oh, you should see Miles try Metroid Prime. It sometimes blue screens on him.
I've seen it freeze on him, but does it actually like crash?
Well, it doesn't like do the whole text stuff, but it does freeze on him.
Monkey Ball Adventure did a weird bonus screen. It like crashed and showed dump text all over the screen. Yeah,
Like stability. That's like the stage 4 like boss. It's just the game crash. I don't care how stable they think they had it. It's not a stable game. Oh, I know you're not, but
Oh, that's bad. Really?
well, please tell me what I have no idea what this is either.
no.
Yes. Or explain.
Shitty cog game. I'm talking shit about it. Fucking
Stop dating. I don't think that's like a legit complaint.
Nerdy is not fucking nerdy. No, you got it. It took you a while.
So this is the very last area of the game, and I'm going to be death abusing a couple times, which means I only have a couple lives to spare out of my total 5. But I don't plan on messing it, so hopefully everything will go hunky-dory. So here's one death abuse. Because I hit certain checkpoints of killing certain goops, the game thinks that I'm doing up here now as a block of ice. And there's a risky strat here, which I'll try. Oh well. If I can jump over that pit of lava, it saves a good amount of time. Come on, get in there. Oh no, that's not too terrible.
No, we just need to work once.
But yeah, that would normally skip this part, moving that and climbing.
Now run everything through a VCR, through the RF out, and back into another VCR, and then into the dazzle. Make sure you don't use any low quality wires as possible.
We could skip a few steps by buying
Oh, things are not in a good position. coming up as another death warp, but I try to do a couple precise things before I die to make things easier. Mostly, I try to kill as many goops as I can as water versus ice, despite the area being completely suited towards having the ice ability. Okay. Still got most of my water. So I'm in a good position. Okay. Now that I killed that goop, I have a checkpoint here for this area, so I don't have to redo anything. But as soon as I die, it's going to respawn me as ice. But I don't want to be ice just yet. If I can balance on this platform properly, that I can get up and kill some of the higher goops. And mostly the one I'm trying to get is the one that's in the very center, because I have to go through a lengthy process of getting that platform that's red right now to get it moving in order to be able to get out of this area down here. We're going. Alright. So that was pretty much the hardest part, was just killing that one goop without having to activate that platform. Control fireball. So you're gonna want to get ready on time. It's gonna be coming up here in just a moment when I hit the when my block of ice hits the cage.
Okay.
And time.
158 plus 110-ish.
We're looking at about
Give or take. Yeah.
141. Wow, that is actually really good. My record time is 140.51. So that was actually really close to the best run I had with my old route.
And I'm not sure exactly what the timer was at before it crashed, but I know it wasn't much above 110, so...
Point is, it is ridiculously close to a good run.
Yeah, that was really good. That was a really cool flash.
Interesting physics.
Interesting physics, the game, that's pretty much what that was. Well, I think we might have wanted to take an answer part first.
well, only if we got there.
Do we have, I don't know, somebody want to go find Mike and find out if we got the Yeti here? The Blue Yeti?
Blue Yeti.
Yeah, this is the microphone we used last year. It's pretty good. It's not, it probably doesn't picks up everything, so yeah, that's why we have the...
What is the mixer?
Yeah.
That's why we have something special for you guys.
The only problem is, like, where we put the cameras? We had the cameras well, maybe we want what is up. Sorry, I was kind of to get the tables.
Well, this is maybe the easiest camera to move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's a way we can set something up over here that you guys can use to actually play, and then we can like aim the camera down.
I would almost think it's just take us Tim to the room.
Yeah,
we might need two.
I mean, just
We want a smaller table is the big thing, not bigger ones. Not one big long ones.
Yeah.